Atithi Dev Bhavo, the beautifully coined phrase to invite tourists to come visit our country and experience the incredible India. Well, it takes just one horrific incident like the brutal assault on the Swiss couple at Fatehpur, Sikri for all the good work to come undone. An attack so brutal by 4 to 5 young goons, then it has left the Swiss man with a broken skull and his partner, a woman, with broken bones. What is wrong with us, our people and the passers-by who prefer filming the incident over stepping in to save the foreigner couple? Lawlessness seems to be taking on frightening proportions. What's going on and where does the buck stop on the safety of foreign nationals in India? Let's get some answers on Urban Reality. I'm Manish and joining me today are NC Shaina from BJP, Dilip Cherian, image consultant. We also have Shehzad Poonawala from the Congress and Aditi Balbir, founder and CEO of V Resorts, a company that provides holiday experiences to showcase the real India. I think the first question is to you, Shaina. Who should we hold responsible for such level of insecurity around some of our key monuments?
I think we need to understand that this is a standalone incident, a very unfortunate incident, and it speaks badly of us as India, as a country where you have foreigners visiting us. But I think the more important point is that the administration will do what it has to in booking the perpetrators of crime. But what were the bystanders doing? I think that we must engage in a role of bystanders, whether they have a moral responsibility or a legal responsibility is something that can be debated. But why were they not coming to the help of this Swiss couple? And more importantly, in the days to come, if we have to set a precedent, I think we have to understand that the administration will do its job. The administration will be pulled up for not doing its job. But for India as a country to maintain our reputation, we must believe that Atithi Dev Bhava is not just a slogan line, but it is something where our citizens stand up for any wrongdoing towards tourists.
Shaina, I get that and I buy that point that you're making. It's a very important one. But my question to you is that look at the Golden Triangle. It pretty much draws 40 to 50% of our tourism. And Fatehpur Sikri is amongst the top 10 monuments visited. My question is, you have to secure these monuments by having coinages like Atithi Dev Bhava, Incredible India. The task is not done. UP has been very unsafe for women. At least around the monuments, should we not beef up security? Should the government not be responsible and cognizant of that fact?
Well, the Chief Minister has himself said that whether it is tourist spots or pilgrimage sites, there will be more security all across Uttar Pradesh, and for that matter, the whole agenda of using technology to the best, whether it's CCTV cameras and footage that can be controlled by a central unit, is one of the many solutions. But I think that we as a country are ashamed every time something wrong happens like this. And for certain miscreants who can be pulled up by bystanders, the whole country should not be held responsible. However, the moral responsibility is something that the UP government has taken.
All right, moral responsibility UP government has taken. Shehzad Poonawala, is this argument something that you buy? Because, you know, it is now, it's already made global headlines. It is going to affect our inflows every time India is represented as an unsafe country. It was first for single women and now even couples are unsafe.
You know, the government over the last 10 years and image consultants like Dilip Cherian in their professional capacity have done a very tremendous job to market India as a destination where tourists can come. And part of that mix is to keep places safe, is to offer a hospitality and a unique experience to tourists. Now look at what this government has done. Shaina tries to pass this off as a one-off incident and puts the blame on the citizens of UP. 200 plus deaths have taken place.
She does add that UP government should take moral responsibility as well.
Their job is not to be there for moral responsibility. It's a legal responsibility and a constitutional responsibility, not a moral responsibility. Adityanath doesn't reflect the moral values of the state of UP. He represents the mandate of state of UP. Anyways, 200 plus deaths have taken place in the last 7 years in Goa, a state which has been controlled and ruled by BJP. And these are 200 plus foreign tourist deaths in the last 7 years in
All
Goa.
right. Yes.
Goa is a major destination for tourists. Now compare this with a state like Kerala. Dilip comes from there. He would tell you that the law and order is much better there. Law and order is the primary responsibility of the state
Kerala.
government.
What about the assassinations and murdering of RSS
so then you should put
officers?
356 and you should
Kerala
declare
where you
that.
haven't
Then you
even
should
taken
put
proper
356 if some state government is not able to run the government according to the constitution. Please don't interrupt me, Shaina. You're a seasoned spokesperson.
Shehzad, just a little bit. Let me get other
Why is she
viewpoints
giving
as well.
visas to drug
I understand.
traffickers?
And of course, we've also improved e-visas on arrival, saying that we need more tourism. It's an important contributor to the business of tourism is extremely critical. Dilip Cherian, I'm going to come to you. Statements, what Shehzad has raised is worth a thought. You have this entire image of India which seems to be changing. You've actually wanted to disappear Taj altogether, right? And then you have safety issues which have been this government or previous government. You also had incidents in 2013 and 2010. We've had countries like UK come out with travel advisories to India. So it is government agnostic as well, the whole safety issue.
The safety issue is definitely agnostic. But what you've got to understand is that slogans don't do the selling. Pictures do. When pictures of this go across the world, the impact on our tourism is going to be horrific. Second, this is tourism season. This is prime tourism season. So if you have these incidents happening in the month of October, please remember that your arrivals in November, December, January, February, which are your peak season, are going to be affected. Three, states are responsible for law and order. And there is no getting away from the fact that Yogi Adityanath has to take moral responsibility, but also legal responsibility for this. Number four, the fact is that policing alone will not do, but blaming the average citizen because you are now no longer have the rule of law, you're having the role of goons. And these goons are a result of unemployment in the country. So you're talking of a mix of things, but the impact on the economy of the country, on the many, many millions of lives whose earnings come from tourism are going to be jeopardized unless government cracks down very hard on incidents like this. And wherever they happen, irrespective of what the reason is, they need to crack down on these packs of ugly goons who are ruling the roost in too many tourist spots, preying on people who are vulnerable.
Preying on women specifically, what is the need to want a selfie with a foreign woman? And there seems to be some sort of excitement if you see a foreigner, woman tourist specifically. Aditi Balbir, come in here. The economic cost of it, we can't afford to lose that, precious foreign exchange. We also have tourism contributing to a large number of employment. 9% of our GDP, more than IT sector, as Shehzad just updated me, comes from tourism. This is a big setback. What happens after such headlines go into national or international magazines, newspapers, television channels? Do you see an immediate dip in the tourist inflow?
Yeah, sure. So these sort of incidents do impact us, and I think we are seen as an unsafe country. Okay, but I don't think that this is really it's really beyond tourism. I think the problem here is that there is absolutely no fear of the law. So when such incidents happen, the only thing that the government can actually do is to take exemplary punishment. So, just as we see abroad, there are certain subjects, like for example in the US, if you even touch an underage girl, the government makes sure, the systems make sure that exemplary punishment is given to people like that. So when such things happen, I think the only thing that the government can do is to crack down on the law and order situation, even though it does impact tourism absolutely with everyone on this. It is really, really a law and order situation. So I think exemplary punishment is really what is needed. And there should
all right,
be fear
exemplary punishment. I think you've really highlighted the issue. Our judicial system also takes so long. Shaina, NC, you've also accepted that this will dent our image and it might be a standalone incident. UP government needs to take responsibility. Here, we've got Sushma Swaraj stepping in, which is a good step.
Yeah.
But the police said that it's a very unusual attack, right? And don't know what provoked it. In fact, till media reported it, the police really didn't take that so seriously. Do you believe that this government should actually look at probably fast-tracking, like they have done rape cases, if foreign tourists are attacked, there has to be fast-tracking a new look at what the laws can do.
Most definitely, but not just for tourists, but I think for even cases of any kind of atrocity against a woman, rape, etc. And we have talked about this in the past too, that this would be a plea of us, as in all the women of this country, as well as in the case of this particular thing. I think it's more about India's image internationally. So I'm not going to lie and say that, oh, all is well and hunky-dory. Of course it gives a dent and it's something that we worry about. But coming to Shehzad's point, I mean, how can he equate this with what is happening with Nigerian drug addicts? Do understand these Nigerians who come on fake visas and passports, land into India, misuse their physicality by 1 second. This is not my saying so. This is not my saying so. The Home Ministry has acted very tough upon them because of their drug peddlers, being drug peddlers and endorsing the drug menace. So please do not mix that up and treat that as a guest or a tourist who needs to be
I get your point, Shaina. I get your point.
Tonight is not about Nigerians.
Tonight is not about Nigerians.
Which are different. One is pure tourism and the second is about a security threat. And for both, fear of law is a must, but as I said, public participation of bystanders in standalone cases is something we cannot just ignore. There is a moral responsibility.
So would you actually, you have it.
And I think if you are just reminded of the case of Keenan and Reuben, who lost their life fighting for this girl's dignity, it's something that we should not just let go.
I think we're going off the topic. Shaina, I get your point. It's not about Nigerians. Let's come back to foreign tourists, because I also have the figures in front of me.
I just want to make a larger point.
Okay.
Today, in the last 3 years, there has been a spectacular rise in the instances of mobs taking up rule of law into their own hands and beating up average citizens and outsiders on dietary choices. The statistics showed 97% cases have taken place after 2014, majority of them in BJP-ruled states. This year, in fact, has the highest cases in 8 years.
And all of that sends a very wrong image,
because these are the headlines that are going in the New York Times, the Washington Post say that somebody has been murdered because of their dietary choice. And I'll give you example of how it is affected.
Tourism figures are actually showing an uptick. Why?
Exactly. I'll tell you why. Because there are two kinds of figures. First of all, as far as the tourism growth is concerned, 97% growth has been registered over the last 10 years. That's an average of 9%, 9.5%. But in fact, in 2014, there was a dip. But if you see the arrivals of tourists, they have changed, the government now has changed the definition of arrivals from only foreign tourists to including the NRIs as well.
So there's a sudden bump up.
Therefore, if you apply the new method to older statistics, you would get the same ranking. So India hasn't improved its ranking at all in the last 3 years. In fact, many would suggest that we have actually gone down. You know, China's party does not understand that the number of tourists who come here is not just a function about glitzy ads and Mr. Modi doing foreign tours. It's about keeping India safe and about maintaining rule of law. Can she tell me that there have not been cases where people have taken rule of law, especially after Modi government has come to power across India? These have taken place and it has been printed all over the world.
Okay, let's look at, I'm going to come back to you, Dilip, but we have to take a quick break. I'm just looking at some of the figures, the allocation that the government has made to tourism, 2,800 crore rupees, and a meager 20 crores has been spent in 2016-17. For God's sake, why can't we have more security around monuments like Fatehpur, Sikri, where incidents happen? We do have a list of India's most visited 40 monuments. Why can't the money be spent rightly if it has been allocated? Come back and discuss that.